you decided you want to leave the mainland, but you do have a family. And bringing a family to Hawaii is a little different than if you were just coming solo. And there's some pros and cons to moving to Hawaii with a family. So that's what this video is going to cover, all the pros and cons of living in Hawaii with a family. What's going on, guys? Patrick Longley here from Team Roger That, and I have just recently become a father myself. As you can see, my beautiful daughter here, Liliana, only 3 months when this video is filmed, and it's really changed my perspective on how I look at life, and also has kind of pushed me to make this video because I do work with a lot of clients that are family. So it's really changed how I look at real estate, how I look at making any moves, because we're making decisions not only for ourselves, but for our squad, our family. And this is a video that's really going to break down the pros and cons of moving to Hawaii and things you want to keep in mind when moving to Hawaii with a family. So let's jump into it. So pro number 1, family-friendly outdoor lifestyle. So the best thing about living out here in Hawaii is that we have sun pretty much year-round. It'll rain every once in a while, but usually it comes and it goes. But the beauty of it is you are going stir crazy, the kids are screaming, and you just need to go do something. You're not being held up by maybe a bunch of rain or a bunch of snow. You can always go to the beach, and the beach is one of the best babysitters because it tires out your kids. And there's tons of hikes, swimming, surfing. There's lots of activities that you can enjoy, not only yourself, but more importantly with your family outdoors. Pro number 2 is safety and community. I have felt that there's so much aloha out here, and aloha basically just means love out here when it comes to the community. It's definitely a family-friendly island. It's one of the safest places in the nation, and you can get a sense of that. Of course, every neighborhood's different, but generally you do get a sense that there is a community and everybody's kind of looking out for one another, not only for your safety, but also your family's safety. So I just feel like out here, there is a feeling that everybody's kind of looking out for your kids. And you can get the sense of that, you know, from neighborhood to neighborhood. But I definitely feel that in all of Hawaii, that is definitely the feeling that you get, that it's a very family and community oriented place. Pro number 3, and this is specific for my service members, is that there's definitely a strong military presence. And that is a huge pro, again, for families, because we always look out for each other, right? So depending on what neighborhood you buy in, there are some neighborhoods that have a higher density of fellow service members, whether that's Ewa, Makakilo, Kapolei, certain parts of the Mililani, even parts of Kailua. There are certain places where you're gonna see a lot of fellow service members, and they're gonna have families, and there's just a sense of community once again in that set. And the last pro would be fresh food. If you are trying to feed your kids healthy with all those outdoor activities that you're going to be enjoying, there's a lot of great healthy food out here, especially when it comes to seafood, which is really good for our kids when it comes to protein and getting tons of nutrient. Now, of course, there's tons of plate lunches with lots of fried food, rice, high in carbs, but there are lots of healthy options out here, as it is more of an outdoor lifestyle, healthy lifestyle out here in Hawaii. So there's lots of food options that support that. Okay, that was a fair amount of pros. Let's talk about the cons. Con number 1 would be high cost of living. It is expensive to live out here, not only to buy a house, rent a place, but also for the cost of living when it comes to food, groceries, utilities, all these different things that you need on a day-to-day basis to keep your family running and living comfortably are much more expensive out here in Hawaii, and it just gets expedited when you have a total squad. So just something you want to keep in mind is this is a beautiful place, but there's a cost to live here, especially a higher cost if you got a family. Con number 2 is the limited options when it comes to quality schools. Now, I say this with a grain of salt because each neighborhood is different. Each district, which always are changing, can be different. But the public schooling out here, to be honest with you, is not the best. It's definitely better on the mainland. There are private school options that you can select from, but you're probably looking anywhere between 20 and 30 grand a year for those schools. So you just really want to dive deeper into, if you're gonna live somewhere, look into the school districts where your kids would be going to school. Great website to look at is greatschools.org, kind of see the grading. And then also ask your local friends or community on how the schools are in the area that you're selecting. And the third con would be island fever. Now, I personally don't experience island fever. I love to surf, I love to fish, I love to swim, and I love to golf. I'm outside all the time, so I never really get island fever. I got everything I need on this beautiful island, and I truly, truly appreciate it. I'm really excited for my baby girl to grow up here, especially with all the outdoor activities that she's gonna be able to participate in, and with the great tight-knit community. But some people get island fever because they feel the island's too small, or more importantly, if you need help from grandma and grandpa, they might be on the mainland, and it's not as easy as them driving over if they live on the mainland. So that is something you want to keep in mind when it comes to some of the cons out here in Hawaii. All right, guys, well, that pretty much wraps it up. That is kind of the pros and cons of living in Hawaii with a family. I hope that was helpful. If you guys got any value out of this video, do me a huge favor. Smash that like button as well as click the subscribe and notification bell so you get notified whenever I drop videos just like this. And if you have any questions about Hawaii or real estate in general, feel free to reach out to me. Got my contact information right here, or you can directly DM me on any of my social media platforms. That being said, I'm Patrick calling with Team Roger That. Hope you guys have a beautiful day. I'll talk to you soon. Aloha.